was just thinking, David, that would be a great song to sing to that woman who comes to visit me in heaven. That way she should know what the answer to our problem is. Turn to Proverbs chapter 1. In verse 8, the writer of Proverbs, who is the father talking to his son, says, "Hear, my son, your father's instruction, and do not forsake your mother's teaching." A very simple little statement that everybody understands what it means. I think even the young people would understand what it means. But actually implementing this is not so easy for young people these days. It seems like the father's instruction is of no account whatsoever, and the mother's teaching is even of less account. And for that reason then, there's a problem in our society. The writer of the book of Proverbs tells the young people to listen to their father, to listen to their mother. The reason they're to listen is because the father and mother have a responsibility to teach their children about God, and this is brought out in Psalm 78. Beginning with verse 5. "For he established a testimony in Jacob, and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers, that they should teach them to their children, that the generation to come might know, even the children yet to be born, that they may arise and tell them to their children, that they should put their confidence in God, and not forget the works of God, but keep his commandments." As you can see here, God felt the need to tell the people now that they were his people, that he has given them this testimony. But it's not just for one generation, that this information, this testimony was to be passed on to the next generation through our children, and that they in turn might pass it on so that God would not be forgotten. And how easy it is for God to be forgotten. God is forgotten. God is forgotten, and forgotten so readily. But we need, as parents, to insist that he not be forgotten. Now, when the young people rebel against us, we tend to want to compromise with them. We don't even talk about God that much, not as much as we used to. And for that reason, we're making compromises with the world. But instead of making the compromises and becoming less spiritual, I think the thing that the parents must try and do is become more spiritual. When I read in Deuteronomy chapter 6, beginning with verse 6, I realized that God was telling the family unit to make this family unit a spiritual unit, and that everybody must be involved in talking about God and thinking about God. And God comes into everything, into our discussions, into our standards, into our behavior, into everything that is going on in the home. I think this is what he means when he says in verse 6, "These words which I am commanding you today shall be on your heart." In Deuteronomy 11 he says, impress these words on your heart. Now, you know, when you impress something, there's got to be pressure to put it there. And he's suggesting that we need a bit of pressure on us to put these words into our hearts and into our lives. And he says in verse 7, "You shall teach them diligently to your sons, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. When you get rebellion in the house, they want to make you feel that you are a fool for doing this. That you are just a religious freak. That you are just trying to brainwash them because you are talking about God who they don't want to hear about. But it's your home. Your home, they've always heard about it. They've heard about it from the time that they were born. And I think parents do have a right to say what they believe and to talk about what is right and what is good. And I don't think they should ever be embarrassed, no matter who it is that would be there. You try to say thanks for the food on the table, especially if you're out in public, and it's an entire embarrassment for them. It's not an embarrassment for me, and if anybody else is embarrassed, it's their problem, it's not my problem. I'm thanking God from the heart for what I've received, and I am grateful, and so should everybody else be grateful. So we need to see that this is to be impressed on us. Teach them diligently to your sons, and talk with them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And I do believe if there's unwanted neighbours, it's a very good way of getting rid of them. Just talk about God. Just talk about Jesus Christ. Talk about the Bible. Talk about the church. Talk about what is right. Talk about salvation. And I tell you what, they won't be knocking on your door again. Not in a hurry anyway. So, I don't mean it to be used in a bad way, but at the same time, I'm saying to you, make it natural. Don't make it forced just to force somebody out. It is what we are. It's the way we think. It's the life we live. He says in verse 8, you shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontals on your forehead. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. It's complete. The whole concept of our relationship with God through Jesus Christ our Lord should permeate the whole house, from the front gate to the back gate. It should be the air that we breathe. It should be the way that we live. I think that's what God is suggesting that they do here. And when we find people resisting this, we need to just insist, no, this is what is right. This is what is right, and this is what is right for this home, because this is what we are. If you don't like it, then you have to go elsewhere. So, young people are to listen to their parents. Let me say this to young people. You can buy most everything else, but you can't buy experience. And when you're young, you are inexperienced. Inexperienced in the things of life and the dangers that can befall us in life. And their life is quite dangerous. And there's always the life and death thing in the background here. And it doesn't go away because you're young. It is there for all of us. You could be dead tomorrow. And your parents are telling you what they believe is right in order to save you from getting into trouble and getting everybody else into trouble, in order to prevent you from falling into a pit that you might not be able to get out of, in order to prevent you from dying prematurely, or from losing your eternal soul. So it is well worth you giving an ear to what they have to say, so that you might be protected in this life, and that you might lead the best life that you can lead while you're here, and that you might gain eternal life in the one to come. No wonder he says in the Proverbs then, hear, my son, your father's instruction, and do not forsake your mother's teaching. verse 9 he moves on, he says, indeed, they are a graceful wreath to your head and ornaments about your neck. If the parents are passing on the wisdom of God, and I think this is maybe part of the problem, the wisdom of God gets mixed up with some stupid stuff that we have in our head about how we should behave in life. And sometimes the child sees that it's not consistent with what you're supposed to be or what you're even saying as a Christian. Children see the reality and they see it clearly. And if we're talking out of our mouth about God and about Jesus Christ and then giving advice which is just out and out worldly and selfish and hurtful and unkind, they'll see that. Your teaching on all levels must be consistent with what you say you believe, and what you're doing must be consistent with what you say you believe. Otherwise, you are giving out mixed messages about who you are and about what you believe. And children can hear the double talk, the forked tongue where you're speaking out both sides of your mouth. They know that this is not all kosher. And they know it in particular if when Christians come into your house, you are an entirely different person to the person you are when you're there with them on your own. So maybe parents, we are part of the problem. Maybe even a major part of the problem. Let's become consistent with what we know to be right in all areas of our life. And let's be conscientious about how we behave and about what we're saying. And let it be in line with what the Lord teaches, so that the children will know there's no difference, in my opinion, about a government and what they should do, and in my opinion about myself and what I should be doing. If the children listen to the right instruction, it truly will be a graceful wreath about his head. It'll be a crown on their head and a chain of honour around their neck. Now he turns to the son in verse 10. My son, he says, if sinners entice you, do not consent. If sinners entice you, you're no sooner in your teens or pre-teens and the enticements are there already. And there's plenty of young people to entice you to do what is wrong. The gangs that are formed by young people are the breathing ground for all sorts of enticements to wrongdoing. And everybody wants to belong to their gang. Girls included. They all have the gang. They're peers. And these peers they're willing to listen to. As a matter of fact, they are more ready to listen to these other young people than they are to listen to their parents. Now we know the story of Rehoboam. He took over from his father Solomon. Solomon had imposed heavy taxes on the people. The people came and asked, especially the older people came and asked, give relief to the people and everybody will serve you. And the young princes were asked, well, what do you think I should do? And they gung-ho, tell them how strong and powerful you are now that you're king. Show them who's boss here. Tell them if my father put these taxes on, I'll put double those taxes on. I want to show you who I am and what I will be demanding from you. And they rebelled against him. And he was left with 2 tribes in his kingdom because of the foolishness of his heart and the stupidity of the advice that was given by other young people, contrary to the elders who were telling this king what was right, and their experience would have told them what was right, but he didn't listen. Oh, he was very much enticed by his peers, his friends. They know everything. They know nothing. They're in the same boat as you are. They're that inexperienced. They're only pretending, bravado, buffoonery. They're pretending they know what they don't know. But they're doing it with such confidence and arrogance that you believe them. They must know. And so you're enticed. He says, if that enticement is there, don't consent to it. If they say, come with us, let us lie in wait for blood, let us ambush the innocent without cause, let us swallow them alive like shoal, even whole as those who go down to the pit. We shall find all kinds of precious wealth. We shall fill our houses with spoil. Throw in your lot with us. We shall all have one purse. This is the enticement here. Listen, lads, there's easy pickings out here. You don't have to work for a living. Not like your father breaking his back on the farm day after day, 7 days a week. Getting up at 5 in the morning to see to the cows. Going to bed late at night because he's got to herd them into the field or bring them into the sheds. It's not going to be like that, lads. We've got a plan. And all we have to do is we get together as a group and we just pick on those people who are vulnerable. And we beat the living daylights out of them. We rob them. And we'll get rich quick. You'd say, how could a young person go for that? How could they fall for that? But see, in a young person's mind, they see the home life as boring. They see life as boring. And they want a bit of excitement. They want the adrenaline rush. And here's people now, angry young men and women, who are taking the lead and enticing other young men and women into a lifestyle that will bring great rewards, but it has great dangers in it. See, the cloak and dagger lifestyle is full of intrigue and subterfuge. It's just built-in danger. Just the idea that you might be going out to rob a bank or to beat somebody up and rob them, it's just, your heart starts to pound. And then somebody says, we're going to do it now. And it's thumping out of your chest. The blood is hitting the rush to your head, makes you go puce. Your breathing gets heavy. It's so exciting. And then you do it and leave this person half dead, like the man who was going from Jerusalem to Jericho, or from Jericho to Jerusalem, the Samaritan. And the robbers came upon him. And they beat him up and they stripped him and they robbed him and they left him half dead on the ground. Do you know the power over some human like that is so great, it appeals to us so much. Power of life and death. I'm a young person and people are afraid of me. I've got power. And I've got this excitement, an excitement I never had at home, an excitement I never thought was here in life. It's just one whiz all the time. Of course, those fellows who robbed that Samaritan probably never gave him a second thought after that. It was on to the next conquest. Hurting people and robbing people and making good on it. You know, this sort of lifestyle, it has its rewards in that you can become rich quick on the back of everybody else's suffering. Sure you can. And who doesn't dream of riches? Now, I mean, just not ordinary riches where you have to work so hard to become rich or to have enough money to buy a car or to do. I mean, riches that the ordinary man wouldn't have by working a whole year. I can make that in one conquest. I can make that sort of money. Now, for a young person, that's just so exciting. So enticing. Not only can I make it, but you see, I don't even have to get up out of bed when at 7 in the morning to go to work at 9 o'clock. I can sleep on half the day. We can do these jobs once or twice a week, and that will be sufficient. The rest of the time is our time. So, I've got nobody shouting at me, get up, you've got to go to school, get up, you've got to go to your job, get up out of the bed, what are you lying there all day for? I don't have that in my ear all the time. I can hear it when I pull the clothes over my head, I can still hear the nagging. I don't want it. I want to be free to do what I want to do. I'll sleep as long as I like. I'll go when I want to go. And nobody's going to tell me otherwise. And I can make money more than those parents ever thought I could ever make. Big time. I can be rich. And think about the gangster appeal. Yeah, the Robin Hoods of this world. There's an element of notoriety in the whole episode. You can be recognised. If Jesse James, anybody recognise that name? Jesse James? Good man? Good man, hey? No, not a good man at all. But everybody knows about him. At least they do in the West, I don't know about Russia. Yeah. You get names that pop up like that every now and then, and gangsters, and they've got notoriety. So the young person is enticed because he has a standing in this group. He has comradeship or camaraderie. He has protection. He has a chance of advancing to be the leader. Everything about this is just so appealing. And don't you see on the television these gangster stories? What's the gangster got on his arm most of the time? A very curvaceous blonde. She might be a big mouth, but she's good looking, for sure. Good looking girls are attracted to bad boys. Bad boys. They like the danger. They like, probably because he's good looking, they like the looks, and they like the excitement of the life that he's leading. And he can make them rich. And he can give her what she's looking for out of life. It's all very appealing. And make no mistake, these are the thoughts that come through in the enticement to go with the gang and to give in to the gang. The same with gangs who want to do drugs. It's the same with gangs who just want to mess everybody up in the area, just terrorize everybody, let the tires down on people's cars, paint graffiti on the walls, do a paint job on the car, whatever it is. They get an excitement and a buzz out of this whole thing. So we must never underestimate the power that is in this appeal for young people. We must never underestimate it. And I'm saying that because, you see, parents bring up their kids as Christians and in a Christian home. And of course, when at 8 or 9 they're asking to go to discos, the parents say no. Oh, but why? Everybody's going. No, we're Christians. We don't believe in letting you go to those things. But there's a sleepover, a pajama sleepover in this friend's house. It's a friend of a friend's. Can I go? Oh, please, Mammy, let me go. No, you can't go. I want to go. Everybody's going. No, you can't go. And so, with the no's all the way along the line, it seems like you're just depriving your child of the life, and they've got no life here with you. Now, maybe that should trigger some thoughts. What do we do as families? By way of maybe going out skating, some sort of entertainment for the children. Not just turning on the television and letting them rot before the television. We need to start thinking in those areas so that there's a family thing going, and it's an exciting thing, and it's something that the children can participate in and enjoy. And if there's that sort of thing going on, at least it won't be boring all the time. Well, keep that in mind. It might help to offset the temptations that go with the young peers enticing them to do the wrong. And I tell you, for parents who are being broken down in that way, the temptation to say, well, it's all right, you can go this time, is so great. It's unbelievably great. Now, if you knew that this is what was going to happen, would you have to think twice about saying, you can go this time? You just say no this time. Because let me tell you, when your child gets old enough, they're going to do what they're going to do. And they're going to do it whether you forbid it or not. They'll do it behind your back. You can't be watching over them 24 hours a day. So they'll do what they're going to do, or what they want to do. And you find yourself in the position where if you've encouraged it, then you've been party to allowing your child to get into these circumstances where they will go far away from God. They'll go far away from God. And chances are you've encouraged them to lose their soul. Rather than saying to yourself, I need to get stronger faith, I need to do more spiritual things, and I need to involve the family and show the family that a spiritual person doesn't mean a dull, uninteresting, do-nothing type of an individual. That we need to involve ourselves. I know it's hard work. I know you work all week. And I know the effort that's put into keeping the home together. But if we don't take time out to help them in that way, other people will take the time out and sort it for you. I know there was a stage where, when we had the young teenagers, that some of the men and the women got together on the Friday night and took them out to ice skating and roller skating, and took them out to McDonald's and tried to do a few things with them. It didn't prevent them doing what they wanted to do eventually, but we did try. But now there's another generation of young Christian mothers and fathers here. What are you going to try? What effort are you going to make to try and help other parents and for them to help you? Are you going to make some sort of effort for the children's sake and for their soul salvation's sake? It would be worth it. I tell you, it would be worth it. It might be at the end of the day that this generation will do what the past generations have done, but at least we can say, we tried. We tried. Too many parents want to let somebody else do it. I haven't got the time. I'm too busy. I'm too tired. Somebody else has got to do it. Well, you can't be too busy and too tired. You have to make the time. And you have to do something before all this lot starts and you find yourself in real difficulties there. Difficulties that you never imagined you'd find yourself in. So all of these temptations are there, and the young people will entice your child to involve themselves in these temptations. And these temptations will be exciting for your child, because they're just exciting to humans. It's just the way we are and the way we're made. If you can have riches, dolly birds, you can have power, and if you can have camaraderie and friendship, you're being offered a lot of love. It's what we all want in one form or another, and to one degree and another. And that's why the rich seem to be doing so well for themselves that they cause envy on the part of everybody else. But these people are into wickedness. They're into wickedness, and this wickedness will actually destroy them. Have a look at Proverbs chapter 4. It says in verse 10, "Hear my son, and accept my sayings, and the years of your life will be many. I have directed you in the way of wisdom. I have led you in upright paths." Listen to that. The years of your life may be many. You know, the first commandment with promise is honor your father and your mother. And that your days might be prolonged on the earth is the promise that's attached to that. Because they've got the experience. They will warn you about the pitfalls. They will protect you as best they can. They will lead you. So not that they want to dominate you all your life. They just want you to grow up to be intelligent and smart and spiritual, so that you might have the protection and then pass on that same protection to your children and grandchildren one day, which is not far away, incidentally. Not as far as you think it is. It'll happen so quickly and it'll all go so fast you'll wonder where it's all gone. But that's what we need to realize, that listening to your parents and listening to what they have to say, especially when it's spiritual, is a protection for you and will prolong your days on this earth. Verse 12, "When you walk, your steps will not be impeded, because you're walking by wisdom. If you run, you will not stumble. Take hold of instruction, do not let go. Guard her, for she is your life. Do not enter the path of the wicked, and do not proceed in the way of evil men. Avoid it, do not pass by it. Turn away from it and pass on, for they cannot sleep unless they do evil, and they are robbed of sleep unless they make someone stumble. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence." He says here. Now they partake of wickedness and violence, so it becomes who they are and what they do. And they're sustained by wickedness and intoxicated by violence. And this is the sort of person that we're handing our children over to, because this is the sort of person that our children want to listen to instead of listening to their parents. What a sad thing this whole business is. How sad it is, and how tragic, and what terrible consequences there are as a result of all of this. But the warning is going out now. We're not to associate ourselves. Look at Proverbs 22. Verses 24 and 25. "Do not associate with a man given to anger, or go with a hot-tempered man, or you will learn his ways and find a snare for yourself." Most of these people, these younger people, are angry young people. They're frustrated young people. They want to do things that are wrong out of their anger, and they want to hurt, and they want to maim, and they want to become strong in themselves and try and get their moment of fame. So he says, don't associate with them. Why? Because you'll learn their ways and you'll find a snare for yourself. In chapter 23, verses 20 and 21, he says, "Do not be with heavy drinkers of wine, or with gluttonous eaters of meat, for the heavy drinker and the glutton will come to poverty, and drowsiness will clothe a man with rags." You're out with the gang, the lads or girls, and they're spending money left, right and centre here. They're drinking too much, they're eating too much, they're heavy drinkers and gluttonous eaters. And he says at the end of the day, this leads to nothing but poverty. You can't go on, this is a dream, it's not reality. You can't go on spending money the way they spend money for food and drink and for entertaining themselves. It just leads to poverty. You're better off having the restraint and keeping within your budget so that you know where you are and that you will have the money that you need for yourself and for those who might be dependent on you. So the warning goes out, don't associate with these people. Keep far from them. I know it's an allurement, and I know it seems like they've got a life and we have got no life. But at the end of the day, we've got the life. And they haven't. Because the end result of their life is that they become arrogant and proud. They think they can do anything to anybody at any time. They think they're never going to have to answer for it, and they're never going to pay the price for what they've done, and they are lying to themselves, and they've missed the boat altogether. Where is it? Talks about envying the wicked. Do not envy the wicked. And he says he's saying to them that, look, it just leads nowhere. There's no future for the wicked man. There's no hope for the wicked man. And that's the reality. There's only a hope for the people. Yeah, it's chapter 24, 19 and 20. Do not fret because of evildoers, or do not be envious of the wicked, for there will be no future for the evil man. The lamp of the wicked will be put out. These people are defying God, and they're defying righteousness and truth and holiness, which are the eternal realities. They're defying God's wisdom. There's no counsel against God. There's no victory in defying God. You will lose. The evil person is destined to fail and is destined for destruction. So no matter how much you admire them or think they're great or want to emulate their behavior, no matter how much you are enticed by it all, understand this, that it's going nowhere, that it will end in failure, and then if it goes any further than that, it will end in total disaster in this life and in the next life as well. So what should we do? Well, Proverbs chapter 3 tells us what we should do. Verse 3, do not let kindness and truth leave you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart. So you will find favour and good repute in the sight of the Lord and man. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. It will be healing to your body and refreshment to your bones. That's what we should do. Turn away from the evil and turn away from those who are practicing evil. We need to trust the Lord, and we need, I'm feared to say it, if your parents are good people, you need to be more like your parents. And if you don't learn that now, you might learn that when it's far too late. That they really did have insight. That they really were speaking the truth. That they really had my best interest at heart. That they really did love me. That they wanted the best for me. And I was too foolish and arrogant to see it or to want it. And that to the regret of my soul. Don't let that be the end of the story for you. Listen to what I have to say. Check it now before you get yourself into trouble. Do the right thing. You will be better off. And parents, don't feel weak in standing for the truth. Don't feel you're doing your child an injustice in sending him out there to drink, to smoke, to try drugs, to be with immoral people, to do all the things that the wicked people are doing, and having to deal with the consequences of all of that later on because you had a moment of weakness to say, it's all right to do it. It's not all right to do it. It never will be all right to do it. It is to the detriment of your child, to the detriment of your own life, and to the disgrace of God Almighty. It is not right to be weak in those times. It is time to be strong and say, I don't agree with it. If you're old enough, you make your decision. I will not back you up in it. It is not right in my eyes, and it's not right in God's eyes. And for that reason, I'm saying no. I'll leave it